All right. What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Ross Alex here. How's everybody doing tonight? Want to give a big shout out to all the entrepreneurs, all the hustlers, all the grinders. Welcome to tonight's show, the Started Somewhere show. If you don't know what's going on, a few weeks ago, I decided to start a show every single week where I interview an absolute beast, somebody who's crushing it in their business, in their industry. And on tonight's show, we have a very, very special guest, guys. So get ready to rock out for about the next 45 minutes to an hour, because tonight we have Jordan Stupar, sales expert, sales master, who's generated over $6 million in revenue over the past couple of years, guys. He's earned himself over $1 million in commission. And he's also now the CEO of Stupar Sales Academy, a hybrid learning system for anyone that's looking to increase their income. So get excited, get ignited, drop some comments. I see some people, 10Xers, 10Xers. That's awesome. I'd like to welcome to the show Jordan, man. Jordan, what's up, brother?
What's up?
What's up, man? We are live, brother. I want to welcome you to the show, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Man, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, I've been following you along your journey for the past couple of months and years. I actually ran into you down at the Growth Con, man. I see you doing some really big things. So I'm really excited to hear, pretty much how you got started, man. Let's just start off right there. Take us back a couple of years ago, man. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, it all started really with a decision. I was born and raised in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, home of cheese and beer. And I started a sales job there. It was a commission-only door-to-door sales job selling alarm and security products. And ultimately, over the last couple of years, I've lived in Milwaukee, Chicago, Dallas, Texas, Virginia Beach, New Jersey, New York City, and now obviously in Miami. And so I'm just a dude that's always wanted it to go big. I tried to go big with my music when I had a band. I tried to go big playing soccer. And sooner or later, you realize that you got to pay the bills, move out of mom and dad's house, and get a job. And for me, school really wasn't my deal. So I got into sales, and a couple of years ago, I decided to really get good at it, and I got around the right people, got around some resources, and changed my life by making a bunch of money. And I believe that I have the tools and strategies to help other people do the same thing, which is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So exactly how many years ago did you make that decision to get into sales and, start taking things to the next level?
I made the decision to get great at sales in 2013. 2013, I went through some things and saw some things that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. I was in New York City. I was living in Queens, working in Brooklyn, and I was making about $40,000 a year there. And if you know anything about 40 grand and you know anything about New York City, you know that's well below the poverty line, anybody listening. And so, got really tired of sleeping in a bed where I could touch both walls. I got really tired of taking a shower almost in my toilet because the bathroom is so small. I got tired of eating buttered noodles every single night because I couldn't afford to go out or afford other groceries. And I made a decision, dude, right then and there that I'm going to get into unbelievable physical shape because that's the only way I can blow off steam. And I couldn't even afford drink, and I'm going to get great at something. And that happened to be sales. And that's exactly what I did. I moved down to Miami. I worked for a great sales guy, Grant Cardone, for 3.5 years. Banked a bunch of money, and I believe now that, again, I can help other people do the same thing.
Awesome, dude. Awesome, man. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into living in New York City. I actually know exactly what you're talking about, man. These little studio apartments, they want to charge you a couple $1,000s a month for. It's absolutely ridiculous. But what kind of emotions and feelings were you going through at the time, man? When that was happening?
Man, it was heartbreak, really. I moved there. Little known secret about New York City. I moved there specifically to be with a girl, and things didn't work out so well. So I was there. I had no friends, no family, really no reason to be there after the whole thing ended after just a couple of months. And so I was tied into a lease. I was working at a job that I hated. I wasn't making any money. I was the top salesperson there. The bonuses didn't help me out. Nothing was working out for me, and I was just super, super frustrated. I remember a day I was out smoking a cigarette at the time with my sales manager. His name was Chris. And he could tell I was frustrated. Like I was having a kick-ass day. I'm killing it at the job. And we're outside smoking. And he's like, you know what, Jordan? I know you want to be a six-figure guy. And I lit up, dude. And I looked at him. I'm like, dude, is this my shot? Can I be a six-figure guy? And he looked me in the eye. He exhaled his little cigarette, and he and he's like, dude, it's just not your time yet. And 2 weeks later, I quit my job and I left. I packed up all my shit into a U-Haul, and I drove for 27 straight hours with my middle finger out the window to New York City and drove straight down to Miami. I leased an apartment. Like, my emotions were so frustrated, so much agony, so much pain, so much just pissed offness that nothing else mattered, dude. I just packed up all my stuff and left.
Wow, man, that's freaking incredible, man. And I could relate because I have a similar startup, and I definitely know what you mean, where it's like you're so frustrated, you're just willing to do like anything to be out of the situation that you're in at the moment and succeed and get closer to those goals, man. And Jordan, I think a lot of people, the majority of people that want success go through that. They just don't act on it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody sits around because look, at the end of the day, I'll probably saving $50 a week. I could save $50 a week, and I could have done that until the day I died and passed away with, $10,000 in my bank account that, my kids can live off of or whatever. But so many people freaking settle because I was just getting by. I was barely getting by. When things kind of started rolling a little bit, I could afford to go out on a Friday night and spend $45 on drinks and, still bank that $50. And I was barely making my car payment. Like, I was all right. Like, I wasn't dying. Nobody was threatening my life. I wasn't getting evicted. Everything was just okay. And I feel like so many people are just okay with that until, until something happens, and then they got to budge, and then they'll push a little bit in life and kind of work something out. But like, for me, I remember one day I woke up in New York City, and I had like this terrible hangover, and there was Taco Bell wrappers everywhere, dude. I had a hell of a night.
Ooh.
And I remember like my head's throbbing, and I'm just like wandering around my apartment, and I was like, dude, why am I here? And I had this like epiphany moment where I'm like, why am I actually right here right now? Why am I in New York City? Why am I working where I'm working? Who am I influencing? I'm not making music anymore. I'm not playing soccer anymore. I'm a half-assed person. I don't have anything going for me. And so I don't know why people don't get to that point when they're not doing anything. Like, your job as a human being is to influence something, to do something. Like, I just can't be, I'm not built to be a person where I'm not influencing anything. Like, I look at people that work at the supermarket. No problem with anybody working at the supermarket. You might have to work at the supermarket. But I see so many people there that look like they've been there their whole life. I'm like, dude, how do you settle for that? And for me, it's never registered. For me, I've always wanted something like unbelievable. For me, I've always wanted to push up to the top. For me, I've always wanted to get rich. I've always wanted to do something. And so, man, I don't know why other people don't get to that point. I don't know. It baffles me, honestly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, man. It's almost like there's more. I think it's tough, man, because there's so many people that settle for mediocrity, but at the same time, we always are going to need people that work those jobs. So it's like, what do you do? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the last statement you made is accurate, but I also think it's dangerous. Like, how long are we going to need a bag boy? How long are we going to need somebody at a cash register? They already have automated checkout lanes.
I like that.
And I hate both of them.
I like that. Yeah, man.
How many people's jobs that are in mediocrity, how long are they going to be able to keep a mediocre job? Sooner or later, they're going to get squeezed out by AI or technology or a robot or something. And like, dude, this is a major majority of people out there. Like, when is your job going to be taken by automation?
Exactly. No, that's a great point that you make there, Jordan. So let's dive. Let's go back a little bit. So you're in the car. You're on the way to Florida. You get this opportunity, and you just go for it. You were already going through some challenges, but what would you say the biggest challenge that you were going through was at that time?
Man, at that time, the biggest challenge was wrapping my head around paying a $43 toll to cross the Delaware Bridge. I mean, I've never been so pissed off in my entire life. But honestly, when I finally arrived in Miami, I didn't have anybody to help me move out of my U-Haul. I did it all myself. Went up and down the elevator. It was hotter than hell down here, and I hadn't slept in 30 hours. And I moved all my stuff in, brought the U-Haul back, finally, parked my car and like was in my spot. I was so stressed out and dealing with so much stuff, getting like I didn't have commission. I didn't have a salary. I had nothing to bank on. I'm in a new city. I just signed a lease. I have $800 in my pocket, which isn't even enough to cover next rent. And so I'm stressed out about that. My car is old. I don't have any friends. I didn't even know that my mom at the time had been diagnosed with cancer because my family knew how much shit I was going through. When I finally found out that my mom had been diagnosed with cancer, didn't know if she was going to live or die within 6 months. I didn't have enough money to pay bills. I'm $40,000 in debt. I see cockroaches in my apartment. I'm like living in a bad side of town in Miami, and the only thing that I had to live for was making it to work the next day so I could pick up a phone. That's the only thing I really had going for me. I didn't have any talent, didn't even have a sales script, didn't have shit. Literally a phone, a computer, and a blank legal pad, and I was told, hey, look, you're gonna put some phone numbers on this page. You're going to put a name after you find out who the decision maker is next to the phone number, and you're going to continuously call these people until you get a deal. So, I mean, you talk about starvation, you talk about desperation, desperation is the name of the game for when I first moved here.
Right. Wow, man. So what kind of things were you doing to help get you through all that stress and frustration to get your mind right and to keep you going moving forward?
Yeah, when you get desperate, there's only two things that you can do. One is you can go the cheap route. I could have, could have started selling drugs or robbing people or trying to steal money or whatever. Or you put your head down and you go through the shit that you're going through. And so the only thing that I could do is put my head down and go through the shit that I was going through, which is show up to work literally an hour early. So I'm there at 8 a.m. every morning. Literally the moment I walk in the door, I'm making phone calls, one after another, single, with my finger until my fingers get calloused. And I'm staying there until 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. I'm on the East Coast. And so at 11 o'clock at night, dude, I'm calling Alaska. Oh. Most of my business, ironically, when I first started coming in and getting deals, most of my initial business came from Alaska because I was able to get in contact with people. And I think that the people I was contacting just respected the hell out of me that I was actually in Miami at 11 o'clock at the office calling them. So they gave me business.
Wow, man. A lot of stuff here, Jordan. So for everybody that's tuning in, we have Jordan Stupar live with us, Sales Master. Drop some questions in the comments. We're talking about how he got to where he is today. Now, Jordan, somebody listening and watching in right now is in the position that you were in not too long ago. What would you tell that person right now that's just getting pissed off, getting frustrated, and they feel like quitting?
Yeah, look, so I know most of the people probably watching this are in that millennial age bracket. You're probably anywhere between 18 and 35, maybe you're 40, whatever. Look, you have to. If you're in debt, if you are still a student and you're like, what the hell am I going to do with my life? If you are stuck at a dead-end job or whatever, look, you have to put yourself in a position to do a couple of things. One, you have to put yourself in a position where you can actually make $150,000 or more. That's the type of money where you can start to begin to do something with. Like you can make some type of investment. You can stack enough away to do something with. Where on down the road, whatever. You ultimately have to take one of two positions in life that you can learn about, and I guarantee you can make money. One, you can become an entrepreneur and sell your own product. Two, you can become a salesperson and sell somebody else's product, because the crux of what I'm trying to get after right now is you have to be in a position where at will you can increase your income. You can't just ask your manager at the grocery store, hey, I need 15 more hours this week on top of the 40 I'm already doing. More than likely, they're not going to hit you with overtime. More than likely, whatever. Yeah, you're right, George. If you're in New Jersey, dude, you need to be making $250,000 a year. I'm talking on average throughout the country, you need to make a minimum of $150,000 a year and put yourself in a position to do so. Because at the end of the day, here's what you're going to be looking for. You are going to, the goal in life is this. Stop trading your time for money. Nobody wants to be clocked in. If you're making $10 an hour right now, if you're making $15 an hour right now, knock it off. If you're making $45 an hour right now, knock it off. Look, all you're doing is you're trading valuable time for a set dollar amount on which somebody thinks you are worth.
Gotcha.
I got tired of that shit. The idea is the only reason to be an entrepreneur or be in sales or increase your revenue and to work like a dog is so that sooner or later you can start trading money for time.
Awesome, man. Great stuff. Lots of value. Taking a lot of notes here. Jordan, I'm curious to hear, man. I know what challenges you were going through. What came easy to you? What just comes natural for you?
Things that come naturally to me, I guess, is the the desire to work. I've always found a lot of happiness in work. I have a really weird line that I don't really like yet. I'm trying to tweak it, but I don't know if happiness is this destination thing. I'm only happy when I'm producing something. So when I'm working, dude, I'm happy. I don't care if the work I do is shit or bad. At least I produced or created something, When I'm stagnant, when I'm complacent, when I'm lazy on the couch, the couch is one place you'll almost never find me. Because I'm not happy there. I'm just not happy. When I'm watching something I have to be watching something kick ass for it to have my attention. Because it brings me happiness to watch other people produce or do something great. But if it's just something lame, whatever. So one of the things that's always kind of come natural to me is, dude, I like to work. I like to create stuff. I like to produce things of value. So that's always kind of helped me, is that I do have a desire to actually create stuff.
Awesome, dude. Loving it, man. So no History Channel, Kardashians, MTV, all that nonsense, man. You dialed in, locked in.
I'm dialed in, man, but don't get me wrong. The things that fascinate me the most are documentaries. I love hearing about like how Ferrari started or how Lamborghini started or Muhammad Ali's, sketch. Like I like learning stuff about other things. Like I love documentaries.
Yeah, dude. Whenever I'm on YouTube, man, I find myself starting somewhere and then I drift off into like learning about the weirdest shit, man. And I can just sit there and just learn, man. So I feel you in that. Yeah, dude. So Jordan, somebody wants to get in sales. I know you're all about sales. They know why they need to get in sales because that's how they're going to increase their income, and it can happen rapidly. But what is somebody who's brand new, doesn't know anything about the sales industry? What are a few things that they need to know before they start?
The things that you need to know about sales before you start in it is that it's going to be like anything else that you do. I think people are scared of it because they think like, hey, it's going to be really difficult. I feel like they've been misinformed. In Stupar Sales Academy, I break down for people like the misinformation that they've kind of been fed about sales. Like you've been misinformed. Your parents or somebody or a friend was like, hey, it's a scam job, or you won't make as much money as you think you will, or you're just going to be rejected all the time. That's another thing people are scared of, is they're scared to be rejected. And so, I mean, dude, you got to get over that type of stuff. This is the funny thing about sales. Can you plug it into this thing right here? Hold on, man. I'm just losing power on my computer.
All good, brother. All right, guys, keep the questions coming. We see them. We're going to be getting to those here in just a little bit. We are diving into some sales tips for new, aspiring salespeople for the first time. So,
all right, I'm back at it over here. I'm plugged in.
Okay, awesome, man. Go ahead.
And so, if you're looking to get into sales, look, you got to know that every single thing that you look, see, touch, like this shirt, this white backdrop in my studio, this computer, everything was bought and sold by somebody to somebody. So it's the most ethical, like normal job in the world is to transfer goods and services. We've been doing it since we were created. Okay.
Since the nomads.
Like your cabinets behind you, the refrigerator, like these are ethical, like normal, cool people that are selling these products and services. So, do that. And then also know that, look, if you're going to be in sales, if you work hard at it, you're going to make money. You will and can be successful. You're simply just creating a partnership with another human being. You're just making friends. Every single person I've done business with, it's not been like this cold transaction where we never talk to each other again. Like these are my buddies now. Like most of the people I talk to on a regular basis are old clients. I don't care if they've canceled on me. I still chat with them like, what's up? How's your business? Whatever. So, as a salesperson, as a incoming salesperson, get your hands on the right tools that are working now in today's market. You don't need an old book from 1950 on how to learn how to sell. You need something that works for you now. And you need to get trained, you need to get drilled, you need to get rehearsed, and you need to get frequent so that you can actually get good at it.
Awesome, man. So do you believe that sales is something that you learn best by doing, or read a couple of books before, train first, and then do it?
Good question. So there's two different ways to learn. One, you can read a lot of books, you can watch a lot of videos, you can do all that, or you can fall on your ass a bunch of times and kind of learn from experience. I think that both of them separately is a bad way to do it. For instance, when I started playing guitar, I could have watched a bunch of videos of Dave Matthews or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix play guitar. That wouldn't have made me any good at guitar, even if I had watched them a trillion times. What I needed to do was, at the same time I was watching Jimi Hendrix do his solo, was to grab my guitar and try to do the same solo while reading tab. And through the failures of my own fingers, and by watching him do it correctly, I was able to increase the time that it took for me to actually accomplish what it is that I was looking to do. Sales is the exact same thing. Yeah, you can read a bunch of books. Yep, you can sign on to a bunch of universities, academies, whatever, and you can watch videos until your eyes bleed out. But until you actually use that information in the real life, yeah, you're going to fall on your ass either way. But fall on your ass less by training at the exact same time. I think that's the best way to actually do it.
Totally agree, man. I think execution is so big, and some people get too consumed by just reading and training and reading and training and never actually doing it. So I think it's important to find that middle line, man, and take action, learn, take action, and vice versa. Okay, so what are some things that people should not be worried about getting into sales? Whatever that looks like to you. If for somebody that's scared to get on a phone call or get in an interview, what shouldn't they be worried about?
Yeah, so all right. You should never be worried about picking up a phone. Like it's the strangest. I've never heard of anybody dying from making a phone call. I've never heard of anybody sticking their hand or a gun or a knife through the other end of the phone and killing the other person calling them. Like, you'll do a lot more dangerous things that day, like getting in your car or getting on an airplane or crossing the road. Like, drinking water these days is probably more dangerous than picking up the phone and making a phone call. It baffles me that people are afraid to pick up the phone. I know why they're afraid to pick up the phone, but it's just a really weird thing, people calling one another out of the blue or knocking on a door. One of the things that you don't need to be worried about is reaching out to another human being. At the end of the day, 99.99% of all of us are good people. I'm not going to kill somebody that cold calls me or knocks on my door. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear you out. If you're a phony, if you're not trained up, and if you're not delivering value to me, yeah, I'm going to hang up on you. I'm going to close the door on you.
How many times have you been hung up on, Jordan?
I can't even count, dude. Like, I get hung up on, 4 or 5 times a day. Like, I just call people, But most people, they'll give me a couple of seconds to at least squeeze out who I am, why I'm calling, and where I'm calling from. And again, if I'm not able to provide somebody value within the first 6 or 7 seconds, I don't expect anybody to talk to me.
Right. Absolutely, man. So, Jordan, I want to get into the follow-up, man. Here's some context. We have a really big real estate audience tuning in right now, and a lot of these investors are sending out a bunch of direct mail to sellers, and then the sellers call or hang up or, and not just limited to real estate, but and I always say follow up, put them on a cycle. How important is following up with the prospect to you?
If you suck at everything else as a salesperson, but you know how to follow up, you're the best salesperson in the room. And I'll explain to you what real follow-up is. Real follow-up is not a phone call every 7 days, every 14 days. It's not an automated email campaign that you have set for people that you once spoke to. It's not any of that. That's bullshit. That's laziness, and it's for poor people. Real follow-up is creativity. Because when you're using creativity, you're going to get creative with somebody. You're not going to have to rely on a phone call once a week to get somebody else on the phone. I mean, dude, nobody's going to change their mind about you, your product, or your service by a phone call. It's just not going to. People buy things, and this is age is old, man. I'm not teaching this stuff. People buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust. That will never change, and it never has changed. So some of the follow-up that I'm talking about is I'm talking about hitting people up multiple times per day, every single day. There's 2 rules you need to follow. 1, always provide value. Everybody's always teaching ABC. You know what I'm saying when I say ABC, right?
Of course.
Always be closing. Everybody likes that because, man, yeah, I'm a closer, dude. Always be closing. Coffee's for closers, right? But it's worth nothing, right? ABC is worth nothing if you're not ABV, as in Victor, as in alcohol by volume. It means always bring value. As long as you're bringing value, you can be closing. But without value, there is no close to be had. So for people in real estate or people selling cars or anybody selling anything, as long as you're providing value, you can follow up with somebody. If I'm sending somebody a survey from the industry on X, Y, or Z, or a free IQ test, or for real estate agents, if you're sending over, hey, by the way, this is the different schools that are in the area of the house that you're looking at, or here's something similar for 20 grand less, or whatever. As long as you are providing value, you can call somebody, leave them a voicemail. After you leave them a voicemail, shoot them an email saying, hey, I just left you a voicemail. Get back to me. After you leave them the email, you can tweet at them. Hey, check your voicemail. Check your email. You can Snapchat them. Hey, check your Twitter. You can Instagram them. Hey, check your Snapchat. You can LinkedIn them. Hey, check your Snapchat and your Instagram. And it goes on, and you can literally cover people up. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I followed up with people that are busy. At the end of the day, everybody these days is busy. It doesn't matter how not busy you are, you're still busy. And you want to like tie people up on all these different social platforms for one reason, because one of those platforms is going to be their favorite. I have people that I've called, like clients of mine that pay me, that I can't get on the phone. They won't do text messages with me. They won't do emails. But the moment I send over a 10-second Snapchat,
boom,
bingo.
Boom. Okay.
They won't get off that thing. They'll stay on it and beat me up all day long. Where I'm like, dude, you got to stop. You got to stop snapping me, dude.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. So that brings me to my next question. At which point do you just throw in the towel and move on and stop following up with somebody when they've said no, or they're not returning calls? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in being vigilant with people. I don't believe that it's ever a time to really be done with somebody. But when somebody's like, yo, like they look you in the eyes like over the phone and they're like, hey, bro, like, dude, you need to relax. You need to tone it down. Like literally, like not today. That's when it's time to maybe step back and give it a couple of days and shoot them a message and say, hey, I know that you told me to hold off. Like, how serious are you about that? Did I call you at a bad time? Were you hungry? Dude, when I'm hungry, don't try selling me anything. I'm just, other than food.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not real for you. It's not real for me. I have my attention on my stomach. When I'm full, dude, sell me whatever. I'm a lay down.
Gotcha, bro.
So, when I think everybody has a pretty good barometer of, hey, okay, all right, I can tell that he's serious. Don't follow up with this guy. And then just shoot him a text message. I have a lot of other techniques and stuff that I teach and I talk about on how to kind of bring somebody back from the dead, but, sooner or later, you have to respect somebody when they say, hey, dude, go die. Okay. I'm not ready.
All right, cool, man. So what's the best way, in your opinion, to find prospects?
Best way to find prospects for me, I mean, I think that question is pretty broad, just depending on what you actually sell.
Right.
But I think social media, hands down, is probably the best way to find people. Obviously, if you're an insurance agent and you're in Florida and you can only sell insurance in Florida, social media is kind of limited to you because you can't do it in California. So, I think the way that I really want to answer that question is that you should brand yourself. It's paramount these days to have some type of social media presence and brand. Like I think in 5 or 10 years, having a resume won't even be a requirement when interviewing for a job. I don't give a shit about somebody's resume. I don't care that you worked at Macy's for 4 years and then you moved up to some B2B sales job for some telecom company for another 6 years. I don't care.
Right.
I want to know, dude, how many followers do you have on Twitter and how many likes do you get on Facebook?
Boom. Everything's social nowadays, man, and it's just getting started right now.
Literally, people are like, yeah, man, it's been around for years. And I'm like, dude, do you know that the internet is only like 17 years old?
Dude, it's not even old, man. It's crazy, right?
It's crazy. We're
getting started.
that's what I want to know, dude. I want to know, how many likes do you get when you do a Facebook Live for my service? How many people are going to be watching? I don't care about what you did selling shoes at Macy's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, dude. No, great answer, man. So, Jordan, we have some questions here in the comments. I want to get to those. So I'm going to pop one up here from Eric Abrigo. He says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Eric? Jordan, how would you separate being productive and being busy?
Yeah. So being busy, dude, is garbage. Like, you can be busy at Office, dude. I love Office Depot, but that's where, like, I feel like I'm busy. I'm like, dude, looking at file cabinets, like, oh, I need some new toner today. Like, dude, how many new whiteboards do I need? And like, I pack up my Porsche and none of it fits, and so I have to like return some of it. And then I finally get back home, I unload some stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't called anybody. I haven't posted to social yet. I haven't done anything. Like, I haven't been productive on anything. I've just been busy. So being productive, like the definition of being productive is actually constructing or creating something. If you're not constructing or creating something that leads to like the attainment of a goal, you're just being busy and you're just like doing stuff. Like, I can chew gum and tell people I'm busy chewing gum. I mean, it's kind of rude. Like, hey, bro, can't you see I'm chewing gum? But really, honestly, that's what it is. So you separate being productive by actually creating or producing something that can be used to, attain some type of goal that you have for yourself.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, Eric, there's your answer, brother. We have another question.
Thanks for that, Eric. I appreciate that.
What's that?
I said, thanks, Eric. That's a good question.
All right. We have another question coming in from George. What do you say when somebody says no?
George, because that's awesome. So here's something that I'm gonna say a little bit differently than most like salespeople or business people. Is I love no. I absolutely love it, because that's where negotiations actually open up. When I'm with my girlfriend and she's like, hey babe, I'm hungry. What do you want to do for dinner? And I'm like, hey, let's get sushi. I'm giving her some type of option. I'm giving her some type of thing. And she says no. Guess what we get to do? We get to enter a negotiation and we get to find some common ground later on. The more no's I find, I know sooner or later, oh, it was mac and cheese. She wants mac and cheese or whatever. So when you're with a client, how does that relate to money? When you're with a client or a prospect and you're like, hey, do you have time right now to speak? Most people are going to say, no, I don't. Good. I love that. Because now's not a good time for me either, dude. I'm trying to get through a list, bro. I'm just trying to get contacts. I'm trying to figure out what's your email address. When is a good time? You know what? If there was a good time, when would it actually be? When I pitch a product and I say, hey, are you ready to go? How soon would you like it? And they're like, not right now. That's not a no. That just means no, not right now. So when people are telling me no, it's literally like, like, good. Like, what is your consideration? What is holding this person back? And, there's a lot of different questions you can use to like really pinpoint that. But it really opens the door for more conversation and honest conversation. And so a little trick is you want to go for no. If you're able to give somebody a bunch of questions that they can say no to, you're giving them the illusion of control, and buyers love that.
Right, and like narrowing it down, like you said, so that you can figure out what it really is that person wants, so that you can go from there. All right, exactly. Awesome, George. Thanks for the question. We have another one here coming in from David, and he says, I'm starting the same concept of academy, wrapping up all the knowledge and training I had and serve my sales community locally, then globally. What do you suggest to use? Which platform, which company? Any advice is highly appreciated, Jordan.
Good question, Bugatti. And I remember you from the 10X Growth Conference, man. I hope that you're doing well. My answer to that is that I don't know what your budget is. I know that when I started my company, I'm rolling out my platform. It'll be live in a couple of weeks. I know that I spent a lot of money on it, like north of $60,000. So I invested a lot of money in mine. I don't know where your budget's at, but as far as video production, I mean, video production for me, I use some out of house guys. I've also now have an in-house studio. I was paying, $5,000, per day to wrap up content. And so it's really a money issue. That's really a money question. It really is totally on your budget of how you're actually going to record your content, how you're going to distribute it, what type of technologies you want, available to people when they do access your info. So just, you're going to have to work on your budget. I don't really have a tremendous answer for that.
Awesome. All right, Bugatti, thanks for the question. We'll take one more here from Travis, and he says, how do you schedule your day to be the most effective and productive?
Love it. So me personally, I don't work out unless it is the morning. Like it has to be before I eat. Like it has to be pretty immediately in my day. I have to go to the gym. Wednesdays are my day off, so I didn't work out today, so I'm feeling a little guilty saying it. But every day I wake up, and I wake up as early as possible, and I go basically straight to the gym because it helps wake me up. And I don't listen to podcasts. I'm not trying to learn when I'm at the gym. All I want to do is zone out, get into beast mode, so I can start visualizing the things that I want on down the road. From there, I usually go hit up this little place to get like an organic, like nice protein smoothie and like this ginger shot. Ginger shots are my thing right now, and
it sounds.
And then I come back to the office, and I literally work until I want to pull my hair out and like suffocate myself in like a trash bag. Like I work until like I want to kill myself. At that point, I know that it's usually a good time to take my girlfriend out for a movie or grab dinner or just unplug for a little bit. And that's basically my schedule, man. I don't have like this really scientific schedule that, some entrepreneurs hold on to. I'm not the type of guy to preach to you to break your day down into 15-minute segments. Like how unrealistic is that? Like, oh, dude, it's 8:15. I absolutely have to go shower right now. That it's retarded. Yeah. So
it may not be practical, or
it's
where you
not, The biggest and most practical tip I can give is that I put everything on my calendar. Like you hit me up at 7:09 and I'm like, oh dude, oh my gosh, it's not on my calendar. Like, what am I going to do? Like, if it's not on my calendar, dude, it's not going to get done. I have to put my gym time on the calendar because it sends my phone a notification in the morning. Hey, today is, core day or arms day or whatever. So if you're having a hard time scheduling yourself or whatever, put things on your calendar, sync it up to your phone or your tablet or whatever, and make sure you get what's done on your calendar.
Boom. I love it, man. So use a calendar, throw it on the calendar, eliminate the white space. I've heard a lot of people say. I really like that one, man.
Yeah.
Travis, thank you for the question, man. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you on the white space.
Yeah, dude. So, okay, great stuff so far, man. You're absolutely dropping bombs, man, and I know that everybody is taking some really great notes. I want to ask you, man, because I work with a lot of new entrepreneurs that are just starting out. They get into one of my programs, and I noticed that a lot of newbies always run into the same challenge. It's like, what do I do when I don't know what to do? Right? I wake up in the morning, cool. It's 6 a.m. All right, I'll work out. All right, now it's 7:30. I don't have a job to go to. So what the fuck do I do?
What to do when you don't know what to do? That's a really damn good question. When you don't know what to do, whether it's a career or you're just trying to figure out what to do at night or whatever, is you got to do what you want to do. Like, okay. That's just what I do. I very rarely go out to the bar these days. Like, it's something I used to do a lot of when I was younger. I paid the price on that. It's something I do like once a month now, but like if I'm like kind of itching to go to a bar, sit down on a bar stool and just zone out with a beer, like I go and do it like shamelessly. Like, I'm not going to ask somebody's permission. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm just going to go. If I I recently have had the itch to leave a job that was going to pay me $750,000 this year to go become an entrepreneur and literally risk it all. And I was like, dude, you know what? I'm going to go do it, because when you are feeling like, I don't know what to do, you know exactly what you want to do. You just want somebody else's like validation on it. You want somebody else to say, hey, go do that. But and everybody listening, like, you know what that is for you. You know what it is that you want to do. If you want to go be a server at Chili's, don't tell people you don't know what to do. Like, go be a server at Chili's. Like, do the thing that you want to do. If you want to go be a professional violin player, dude, what are you doing asking people or telling people, I don't know what to do? Go get a damn violin, open up the case, get a music stand, and learn how to play that damn violin until you're a professional.
Hey,
that's the story.
I dig it, man. Then go to the Vegas Strip, stand on the street, and just make like $1,000. Do it.
I've never walked past anybody that played a musical instrument in public that was bad at it. Like, they're all good as hell, and I always tip.
Nice, dude. All right, Jordan, next question, man. How important is building and having a team to you?
So building a team, I was talking to a guy. I'd recently bought my 911, and he was like, congrats, man. That's really cool. And then he sent me like 6 photos of his Lamborghini, his Audi R8, like all of his sports cars. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, bro. And so we were just talking about income, and we were talking about money. And, last year made about $500,000, and he's like, dude, like the only difference between $500,000 a year and $5 million a year is employees. So for me, being an entrepreneur, I don't have my whole product yet, but the minute I have my product there, I'm going to be hiring a sales team. I know that a sales team can't cost me any money. That'd be bizarre thinking. Having a team is the most important thing that you can do as a person. Like, dude, if you're single right now and you have a family next year, that's your team. Like, if you have a baby and a wife and like a dog or whatever, that's your freaking squad. That's your team. And so as you're an entrepreneur, like, your employees are your team. They're there to help you and support you and build you up and help you accomplish the things that it is that you're doing. So for me, it's super important, and it's something that I plan on doing immediately, if not sooner.
Awesome, dude. I totally agree with you, man. One of my mentors always says that, if you want to go big, if you want to make millions and millions of dollars, you can't do it on your own. You're going to need a team at some point.
Exactly.
Awesome, dude. So you said something there that about a sales team, that it can't cost you any money. So I'm assuming you mean paying 100% commissions to your squad. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that's the surefire way to not lose any money on a sales team.
Yeah.
But even if you do hire commissioned salespeople or people on a draw, look, if I find 10 people, I know 5 or 6 of them are going to suck. I get it. You can't help that sometimes. 2 or 3 of them are gonna, kind of do all right, and I'll kind of I'm not gonna lose money on them, but I'm gonna have 1 or 2 people that freaking blow it up for me, and they're gonna make everything worthwhile. And that goes for just about any business on a draw or some type of salary plus or whatever. But salespeople, like, you have to weed through people. We hire from a planet full of dumbasses. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, there's no perfect recruiting structure. There's no perfect anything. Like, you have to go through. It's like cold calling, dude. You got to make a bunch of phone calls to get to a person to talk to.
Absolutely, man. So let me ask you specifically: if you were to start all over and you were to join an organization, 100% commission, what are the terms that you're looking for in a sales gig?
I'm looking for in a sales position, I'm looking for 100% commission, straight up.
Okay.
I don't want to draw. I don't want a salary. I want to make a bunch more money than as possible, and I want to be able to turn up the heat whenever I want to.
What do you think is the average or a starting point commission wise or a percentage of the sale for somebody that's brand new to the team?
Somebody brand new into a commission only team. I mean, you can expect to take home anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30% of what you sell, just kind of based on the ticket.
Okay.
One thing's for sure is I'd rather have a small slice of a really large pizza than a really large slice of a very small pizza.
Yeah, dude. Doing a $100,000 sale and getting a nice $10,000-$20,000 commission check. Rather than a couple $100 sales here and there.
Yeah.
Totally dig it, man. All right, Jordan, a couple more questions here, man. Again, I want to thank you so much for dropping the amount of value that you have. I noticed that you're wearing this shirt. You've been promoting this on Facebook.
Oh, man.
Can you explain the shirt, brother?
All right, so I'm wearing a shirt right now that says "Don't Get Weak" on it. It's a shirt I made really, honestly, for myself. I have a wristband here that says "Don't Get Weak" on it, and I made it for myself because, look, since becoming an entrepreneur, here's the deal. I left a job where I was probably going to make somewhere in the neighborhood of $750,000. I'm 30 years old. I have no kids. That's freaking excellence right there. That's golden handcuffs. I left it. I'm risking everything. I just dropped, $100K on my business. There's no certainty. There's no customers. I don't know what I'm doing 95% of the time. And so, I just told myself, don't get weak. Just stay strong, right? Everybody's like, hey, stay strong. But it's so easy to forget, stay strong, buddy. It's not even a meaningful thing. And
Right.
So I just kind of started saying, don't get weak to myself. And I'm like, dude, this is my own self-reflection of my self-asserted brilliance, is that don't get weak applies to absolutely everything in your life. If you're at the gym, right? We've all been there. You're on a tear, you're tired, you're sweating, you're exhausted, but you have one more set left. Or one more rep. Don't get weak on that. You got to freaking get through it. You got to finish the job. If you're in the close with a customer and they're grinding you down on price, don't get weak, dude. You know what your value is. Overcome the objection and freaking close. If you're in a relationship and a cute girl's, biting for your attention, dude, don't get weak on your relationship and let it go out the window. Everything that you don't want is on the other end of getting weak. You're on a diet, you're doing really well, and all of a sudden you're like, man, Krispy Kreme.
Boom.
Don't get weak.
Don't get weak.
Don't get weak. And so, it's been really helpful for me. Every time I'm thinking about, quitting, taking a day off, half-assing a video edit or whatever, I'm like, dude, now that I've told the world, I have a shirt that says don't get weak on it. How the hell am I going to be the guy that does a half-ass video or does a half-ass anything? I can't get weak on it.
Boom.
So, by the way, my plug, if you're looking for a shirt, you're looking for a wristband, you're looking for a flat brim hat for Don't Get Weak, go to don'tgetweak.com and pre-order all your shit. Go to don'tgetweak.com.
Don'tgetweak.com. I'm going to put it up here for everybody, and we'll link it as well in the comments after the show. So, Jordan, if you were to go back, man, you go back in time, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, to when you first decided you wanted to get rich, whatever the case may be, take us back there. If you could do one thing differently than you did, what would that be?
I mean, dude, that's an unbelievable question. I don't even know if I really have an answer. The first thing that comes to mind is that Drake line from that Drake song where he's like, I would go back in time not to do anything over, but to do some shit twice.
Mm.
When I was at my lows, I was enjoying the highs of like party life, and like I needed to experience that to like crash me down to some lows, and I needed those lows to make the decisions I made to become the person I am today. And I don't really have any regrets for blowing all my money back when I was 23. Like, obviously, like with retrospect, you know, I probably would do some things differently, and I would have grinded harder. I would have saved money and whatever. But I definitely, if I was making smart financial decisions when I was 23, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. So I'm kind of thankful for my dumbass past self for blowing money on stupid stuff, and really kind of thankful for where it led me today, because, you know, there's things in life that you have to go through that help create the person that you are today, so that you can relate to the people that you need to down the road.
Boom, dude. I can totally relate to you, man. I used to do the EDCs, the Ultra, Pasha, because I used to live right outside New York, Webster Hall, all the time. I'm 26 now. And I feel that when I cut all that shit out, dude, I started making a couple $100,000 a year, and it just, you know, it's been growing ever since. So I totally,
know, right?
Dude, it's like, I don't know, man. I've questioned what it would be like to actually just get into that business, bro, and just be the one to throw those festivals and those open up nightclubs and shit, dude.
I know, dude. I so want to be a club owner one day.
Yeah, man. Just own a club down there in South Beach, like Story or something. Place is clean house, dude. So, Jordan, I got one last question for you, and I ask every guest that's on the show this question, and I want you to just take a second or two to really think about this one and go as deep as you possibly want to. But the question is, in your entire life, you said you're 30 years old now, right? In 30 years,
Yep.
brother, what is the number one best advice you have ever received in your life?
Whew. The best advice. The best advice I've ever received ever in my entire life came from my mother when I was quite a bit younger. I was I was probably in high school back when no girl would date me. I have no idea why. I thought I was a pretty cool guy, but nobody was taking me seriously for some reason. I kept on getting overlooked. I don't know why. I was crying. I was laying on her lap. I was crying to my mom, dude, in high school. Here's this semi-full-grown man crying to his mom, and I'm like, dude, nobody likes me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I hate school. You know, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it in professional soccer. Like, whatever. Like, I was having those teenager blues, dude, where I'm just like, dude, like, I hate this.
Yeah.
And she was pretty calm about it all, and she just basically told me, just do the things that you love to do. And she said some other advice, like, you know, you'll end up with a girl one day. They're all going to be standing in line for you one day. One day you're going to be successful. You know, just like do the things that you love to do. And, you know, I kind of took it wrong a little bit and started like drinking and like smoking. And I'm like, dude, I love drinking. I love partying, right? And started doing that. But at the end of the day, if you do what you love, you won't have to worry about loving what you do. Like, you don't have to question that. Like, every day I wake up, I don't have to worry about it. You know, I love what I do. And so I feel like that's the best. I feel like that's the best advice. Obviously, I've gotten some pretty good advice, but I feel like that was probably the most impactful, if you ask me the question.
All right, guys. And Jordan, I love it, man. So best advice ever is do the things that you love to do. And man, that's some great advice that everybody should, implement into their lives. So Jordan, man, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. And I know that there's so many people that are either watching us live right now, or they're going to be watching on the replay that want to know how to contact you, how to learn from you. Can you share that with us so we could put it down in the comments?
Yeah. So if you want to get in contact with me, social media is your best bet. I'm super active on social. I'm I know that somebody asked that question in there. Could you expand on the social media? I'm happy to contact you, or you can contact me, whatever. You can find me on Facebook. Yeah, Travis. There you are, Travis. You can find me on Facebook. I don't think I have any more room for personal friends, but every time that it's the birthdays, I always delete a couple that I have no idea who they are. You can try friending me if you can't. Definitely like or follow my public page, Jordan Stupar. You can find me on Twitter, Jordan_Stupar. You can find me on Instagram, Jordan Stupar. You can find me on Snapchat, JSTOOPS, J Stoops. Or you can just go to jordanstupar.com. You can fill out for my newsletter where I'll be just providing value for you on a semi-daily basis. Find me on YouTube, Jordan Stupar. Just Google Jordan Stupar. You'll probably find a couple of options. Pick one, and I can't wait to interact with you.
All right, awesome, dude. Yeah, and we'll leave that there in the comments, man. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to be hitting you up with some more questions. I got to ask, man, one more. I just thought about it. What's next for you, man? What is next for Jordan Stupar?
I'm going big. I'm going really big. What's next for me? Cool, Travis. I appreciate that, man. I can't wait to chat with you on IG. Next for me is world domination, dude, of self-development tools, education. Stupar Sales Academy is going to be the go-to place for I'll probably have to change the name. It's going to be the number one place for people that are just looking for guidance through something. I'm not an insurance specialist. So on down the line, I'm going to have an insurance academy, so on and so forth for different everything. So I'm going deep, I'm going wide, and I'm going to work my ass off until I can afford the 12 exotic cars and professional racing license that I want. So that's my deal.
Well, sounds great, man. I look forward to follow you on your journey over the next couple of years and see the power moves that you're going to be making. I want to thank you so much for being here on the show, man. You dropped so much value, and it was just an absolute pleasure to have you here, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak and spend some time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So for everybody that's tuning in, thank you so much. This is the Started Somewhere Facebook Live show, and we'll catch you back here next week. Take care.
See you guys.